Okay, welcome. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the City of Monona's Mass Transit Commission for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Mark, we do have quorum. Everybody is here tonight. That's fantastic. We do have no one for the appearances, correct? There's nobody here that's in the waiting room that would like to speak or anything like that. Is that
No,
correct?
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. All right. Well, I think we missed one thing on the agenda. We don't have it formally on the agenda, but I just want to welcome, before we get into the business of the meeting, I just want to welcome our newest member, Charles Bugg, who's there in the conference room. Welcome to the city's Mass Transit Commission, Charles. We're really happy to have you with us. Would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself and your interest in mass transit?
Sure, and thank you. And just so you know, it's Bugs, plural, B-U-G-G-S.
Bugs.
Yes. So I've moved to Monona in 2022. My wife and I, we have 2 kids, and we live over on St. Teresa Terrace. I lived actually over on Tompkins, speaking of just on the other side of the border. I lived over on Tompkins for several years before moving. I grew up in Janesville. I am partially blind. I'm blind in my left eye and don't have 20/20 in the right eye. So I take Metro. My wife takes paratransit. So definitely, we had taken the Monona service prior to switching over to Metro, and definitely always advocate for good public transportation. In my work, I work as a website systems senior technician for the Department of Health Services. So I work for the state, helping them with their websites.
Cool.
Very nice. Would we like to go around the room and introduce ourselves to Charles? Addie, would you like to begin? Or
It's good to see you again, Charles. I think we've run into each other a couple of times. Yep. So I'm your neighbor over on LaBelle Lane, or just off Sylvan here in Monona. I've been here since 2019.
Okay.
And I work with REAP Food Group, a nonprofit doing work to improve local foods in the community. I'm also a grant writer for a number of other organizations, including supporting the wonderful White Horse Sculpture Festival that's going to be happening this summer. And I'm primarily a bicyclist and do also take the bus rather frequently. However, I did also just get a car about a week ago, so this is a new thing for me. So I'm trying it out. And the snowy winter has made the decision a little bit easier.
I'm disappointed in you. I don't know.
The person had a car.
I tried. I had shared a car for a lot of years, and now living independently. I hadn't had one since April and was doing okay until we got 14 inches of snow or something in the past month, and it just got a little bit too challenging to try and get around. So I'm thankful for Metro. I'm very thankful for their bus tracker app because it saved me from standing out in the snow waiting for the bus a couple nights ago for like an hour. So I was able to watch the bus from my house and be like, okay, now it's coming, and then run outside. So.
And it really does
I've been
work.
on the committee since 2020. I joined in the pandemic.
Okay.
2020, yeah. All right. And then sitting also just across from you, Charles.
It's quick. It's Marco Tucker, finance director for the city, and staff on the committee.
Okay.
Been here 20 years now. Okay. So I'll be the one you'll be cursing out next week once your tax bills come in. So,
Oh, yay.
that's all I have.
Most popular guy in town this time of year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jillian, would you like to follow Mark, Jillian?
Sure. Hi, Charles. I'm Jillian. I live on Gordon Avenue over by Monona Grove High School. I moved here in 2018 and joined the commission in 2022, maybe. And I'm also like Addie, I'm primarily a bike rider, but I do more busing in the winter. Definitely have taken it a few times recently. And I also work for the state. I work for the Legislative Reference Bureau.
Very
And so do you ride a bike with your kid on back?
I did until last week.
I thought I saw you. It's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
And all the bike shops in town, it's like they didn't anticipate people with kid haulers wanting to
good.
drive them in this weather, so they were all out of stock of studded tires for the kid hauler bikes. But
Really?
I've got some coming from a bike shop in Minnesota, so
Wow.
we'll see.
I'm impressed.
Billy's pretty hardy. She's not complaining about the cold.
Good Wisconsin stock.
Yeah.
And your child is probably, what is he, 40, 50 pounds? I mean, he's not a
She's
baby.
she's 40, she's almost 40 pounds, yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
that's a lot to put on the back of your bike.
It is a lot. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if it's worth it, but we only have 2 total years of biking 5 miles each way every
Yeah.
day. So
And then my colleague Alder Bernstein, would you like to introduce
Sure.
yourself?
Hi, Charles. My name is Rick Bernstein. Like Teresa, I'm an alder. Been an alder for this will be my 3rd year, and that's the same time I joined the Transit Commission.
Good.
So welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Teresa Rodermacher and peer to Rick Alder and chair this committee. I live on McKenna Road, not too far from Rick. I live sort of between Nichols and Greenway on McKenna Road.
Okay.
My house is the one with the brand new solar panels that are completely covered by snow. And I keep agonizing when I look at my app where it tells me that it's producing no energy, and it really bothers me. So I know, Rick, yours are at a little bit of a slant, and the snow
Yeah.
has slid off your panels. My roof is what do you call it? Something 4-pitch. Yours is maybe a 5-pitch or something, and it's just they lay a little flatter. So
Well, let me know if you want to try roof raking, Teresa, because I rake mine off and they're not
I
clean
know.
right now because they got iced, but
I
let me know if you
know.
want to try it.
I called up the solar folks and they're like, we don't recommend that you do anything. We've already taken that into calculation for your annual production. You don't want to risk, damaging the panel. I just want more. So anyway, so Charles, have you been on a city committee in the past?
When I lived in Janesville, I was on their pedestrian safety subcommittee.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Yeah. So this
And
committee. Oh, go
I'm
ahead,
also
please.
a Lions Club member. Actually, I'm a member of Madison Evening Lions Club, and then I'm an associate member of the Monona Lions Club. So I've served on different volunteer organizations in different capacities in the past.
No, that's spectacular. I think you'll be among like-minded people who get involved in their community. I only ask, it's very interesting about your involvement in Janesville. This committee is called, mass transit. It's not only about the bus, right? I mean, we can talk about pedestrian as well, and well, I guess maybe that's not really mass transit, but I mean, there could be opportunities to branch out into other considerations for transit. And I also just wanted to sort of explain that you are absolutely welcome to speak up and voice any concern and any wish that you want to. It's not necessarily top down. This is bottom up, and the concerns that come from you are really something we want to hear. And they bubble up, we pass them out of committee and then they go to the council for council's consideration. It's not the other direction that flows. So please never feel out of place expressing interest that you would like this committee to consider.
Okay.
Wonderful. So on the agenda, I'm just going to move then on to number 5 under unfinished business. And I think tonight's meeting is going to go pretty quickly, but update on bus pads. What does that even mean? I know that you already know that all of the bus stops have long had a completed concrete bus pad installed. That's been in place for a few months now. I guess I just wanted to put it on the agenda in case there was anything that any of you might be noticing about the bus pads as you use the bus. Personally, I've been really pleasantly noticing that the snow is always cleared from the bus paths very promptly. It's quite impressive how good the Public Works staff have been working to make sure that it's always accessible. Any thoughts? I know that in the past, Rick has brought up like, sure it'd be nice if there was a place to sit, or do we need trash cans or something at the bus pads? I just wanted to put it on the agenda to give the committee an opportunity to talk about it if you chose to, but I don't have anything to report.
One thing regarding like, it's kind of similar is, so the city budgeted 85,000 in the 2026 capital budget. It's all actually in the TIFs, so it's not actually paid by the taxpayer, it's paid through a TIF system. But they are gonna continue the sidewalk on Owen Road. So right now, if you know, there's that, on Owen Road, it stops, then it's grass. So they're working on engineering that, to continue that out, so there's a sidewalk the entire way through the church, and there's also ephemerate. There's a lot of work that has to be done for sidewalks and some other stuff. So those are the 2 major projects that will be finished 2026. So there will be a sidewalk in Owen. I believe that's all the areas, the only area that does not have a sidewalk as of right now. So
Mark, I just want to remind you, thank you for speaking into the microphone. I heard you very clearly in the beginning, but then your voice trailed off at the end. And since all of our meetings are recorded, it really is important that the people watching the recording can hear everything. I think what you said is that next year, sidewalks will be constructed on Owen Road and
Ephemerate, there's an area in Ephemerate that has to be reconstructed. And it's also in 2 TIF districts, so the TIF districts will be paying for those constructions.
So no taxpayer burden.
Correct.
Are there any questions about TIF and tax incremental financing, TIF districts, TIDs? So this is just a mechanism wherein a portion of the taxes that the developer would pay, instead of going to the city to be used by the city in any way that we choose, it's very geographically driven. The development is within a designated district. The district is determined by the city council and other bodies. And when a development is in a TID district, a portion of the tax revenue goes back to that geographical location, right? So it doesn't necessarily go back into the pockets of the developer, it goes to the geographic location in which the development is. So these sidewalks are not part of that development, or whatever development might be in that TIF, that TID, that tax incremental district. But that's why the cost of the sidewalks can be financed through that, right? You could argue, it's like the city would be paying for it anyway. Now we're just paying for it with money that we're not getting directly, but we're turning around and making a U-turn and putting that money right back in, right? So it does kind of tie our hands a little bit. We're limited to that geography, but this is a wonderful example of how it can be used for the entire community. Sometimes people think that we're just giving money to the developers, right? There are arguments on both sides.
And then,
Okay.
and then I know we have benches over in the new part. You mentioned that. I don't know if you want to talk about that now or wait till new business.
Yeah. I'll just jump to it now. I'm going to jump down to new business because I did sort of open the door to that topic. I wondered, Charles, something that we've recently done is that we're just trying to reach out to certain audiences that we feel might have a stake in the Metro bus system more than others, like our business owners or our seniors, or there might be other groups of people. And Addie, sitting next to you, met with the director of the Madison East Side or the Monona East Side Businessmen's Business Association, not businessmen, MESBA. And Jillian here on screen met with the director of the Monona Senior Center to learn from them anything that they would like us to know about how this commission can serve them better. Addie, I don't know if you know this, but the director of MESBA, Christine, she and I were talking one day, and we were talking about benches at bus stops. And there was this amazing idea that came about where she said, I'm actually already looking into something, which is, it would tie in our business community with benches at bus stops, but also artwork. Like you've seen how sometimes you might have a mural on the side of a building or a fire hydrant that's painted or some other thing along the street that's painted. A beautifully painted bench at a bus stop is sounding like it is a possibility. I don't have all the details. I don't know whether it's going to happen or how it might happen, but it's just sort of a starting conversation. And I'm just wondering, Addie, since you already have, I mean, I'm happy to, be a main, person in the conversation, but I'm just wondering if you had plans to talk with Christine anyway. Is this something you could bring up to her or ask her about or see what that's all about?
Happy to reach out and check in with her after the first of the year. I think December's a little bit busy, but yeah, let me check in with her in January.
I agree 100%. And if she sends me anything, I'll courtesy copy Mark and send it to you, just so that we understand what's going on there. I really like that idea of incorporating artwork.
Agreed.
Yeah, very cool. And if there's so many grants for art projects as well. So who knows? This could be really a win-win affordability. All right. Back up to unfinished business. 5B, Metro Ridership. If you're sitting in front of your computer and you can pull up the spreadsheet, that's great. Otherwise, I'll pull it up on my screen, but and I'll share my screen. Is that what you'd like me to do, Mark? You'd like me to share my screen? Okay. Okay, so sharing my screen. All right, sharing my screen. Is it, you tell me, is that too cramped? Would you like me to make it bigger or smaller or?
Bigger if you could.
Bigger if I could, bet. How about, is
Too
that
big.
too big? Is that too big?
Probably too big.
I have a very big screen.
That's
Oh,
fine
that's
right
good.
there.
Is
I
that
think
good?
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a quick tour. Are you able to see in the far upper, you know what? I think there's a thing up here that might be blocking your view. I'm going to try to pop that over to my other screen. Okay. All right. And while I'm at it, I will also close that.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Anyway, hoping I would be able to. Anyway, all right. So just a quick tour before we get into the details. Along the bottom, I've got 4 different tab divisions. There's stop activity, which just shows you activity at each stop. And we received this quite late in the day, and I'm already seeing an issue with this graph, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Boardings, getting on the bus, and then alightings, getting off the bus. and boardings and alightings. Okay. And all data over here. There is one something I'm already noticing that was missing, something that Mark and I were able to review with the representative from Metro, which I don't have here, which is sort of a map of the region. But so boardings, let's just start, we'll go in the opposite order here. So what we've got in front of you then is three different line charts representing the 38 is blue, the L is that gray bar along the bottom, and then the G is this the red color at the top. And along the left, the y-axis, we've got increments of 100 riders at a time, increments by 100, and along the bottom, we've got data going back until October of 2024, all the way through November of 2025. We have learned over the course of the last few weeks that October 2024 is about all the farther back in time we are able to go. It was at that time that Metro switched over to the system they currently have now. And so trying to answer the question, how has Monona's entry into Madison Metro affected, all those stops that have been there for a long time, the G and the L, how has Monona affected, what impact has it had on those? We can't really say, we can't go back an entire year in time. But we can see a little bit, maybe, that, so for example, here, October, Monona came in here March of 2025. And before that, we had the L along the bottom, the G up here on the top. We have a naturally occurring predictable dip in the holidays, and then it kind of goes up. Also the cold weather.
Just keep them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I stop?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I think it's typical that you have a little dip in the holidays and the colder weather, and then it just kind of like heads back up again with your higher ridership happening in the warmer months.
Teresa, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused because I feel like in the data we've gotten before, the G and L totally eclipse 38 in Monona boardings. So but the 38 is showing up as having more boardings than the L.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Is this like this is just boardings in Monona, or is it all boardings? Because if it were all boardings, then it would make sense that the 38 has more because there are tons of riders who board elsewhere on the line. Unless I'm misremembering, but maybe I'll pull up that old data.
And Teresa, just so I'm clear on the number, so as I'm looking at your table there in, say, row 57, it says, so row 57 there says that in March of 2025, the 38 had a total number across the whole month of 1,133 boardings. The G had 3,434. So that's the total for the month.
Correct. Boarding.
Okay.
Correct.
Boarding in Monona.
In Monona. Yep.
Yep. Boarding in Monona.
Good.
And all of these, yes, all of these are boarding in. Now, all data would, so if we went to the all data and we only looked at the stops, then we could definitely, confirm that. So the stops here are Atwood, Copstein. So these are Monona only stops. It does include Dutch Mill, but all the others seem to be in Monona, unless I'm missing something.
That's consistent with what I remember from previous data dumps that we've gotten, Teresa, that it really is just the stops that are in the geography of Monona.
I would agree. Jillian's point, though, in the past, I also seem to remember that the L and the G both sort of had higher numbers than the 38. But on this down here, back to your row 57 here, Addie, I mean, the L only has 364 and the 38 has over 1,000.
Yeah, and I think partially that may be just that the L, if I'm counting correctly, only has 3 stops in Monona. Right, because I think it's got. Yeah, I think it picks up like 2 places on Monona Drive and 1 place on Broadway, and then turns on Flom and exits Monona pretty quickly. So it might also just be because this is actually kind of tracking with my memory, was that the L numbers have always been lower than the 38 because there's just so few stops in Monona.
And here's another thing that just the light kind of went off over my head as well. We're only looking at boardings. If we were to look at boardings and alightings here, I wonder how that would. So we have the G.
Yeah.
We have, let's see. Now this is just the G.
You're
Why does
right,
it say
Andy.
the
The L
G,
is
the
much
L.
lower.
Total sum. Why is it only the G? Oh, is it? Oh, he doesn't have all. Okay, got it. But that's the 38, the G, and the L. Okay. So this makes it a little more, let's get this here. So here we have, sorry about my on the fly formatting here. All right, so we've got the 38. I'm just going to put that in yellow. We've got the G. Actually, let's just keep the colors. Before, the 38 was blue and the G was gray, right? And no, the G was
like that reddish.
the G was that reddish color, right. And the L was gray. Yeah. Okay. Kind of hard to, come on. Okay. All right. So does that make it easier at all? Okay. So this is the summary of alightings. You get off the bus. This is the boardings. All the off the bus, all the on the buses for the 38. So I'm just going to do alightings here and I'll do boardings. Okay. Here as well, on, no, off, on, and then the totals. Okay, so the previous tab was just the boardings, and we were looking at the L, but still, I mean, those numbers are pretty low, both getting on and off the bus. It's the G that's really the powerhouse here, and the 38 is now does.
I think what I'm realizing is that the L, it always was. So I look back at the old data and it always was low, but the individual stops on the L and Monona are the highest performing stops. That was it. It's that the L has lower ridership overall at the Monona stops, but the stops where people are getting on sometimes have as many as 5 people getting on at once.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, so there's just a higher frequency per stop versus the 38.
Mm.
which is neither here nor there, but it's kind of interesting to me.
I know, it's hard to know, yeah, what is the story that what are we learning? Yeah. It is quite wild that, you get the total of all three boardings and alightings, we're looking at like, I don't know, between, do you add these up? I mean, shouldn't there be, so alightings and boardings, if you add them up, isn't that,
Right.
that's what,
Yeah.
For the ridership.
Yeah.
shouldn't we be adding them up? I mean,
You just need one more
that's
column.
that's what first student would have
Right,
done, right? I mean,
so you'd have a column for total.
yeah, so if we did, that, so if we did this plus, you've got to be kidding me. Can I do this?
Can I ask a question? Charles, are you able to see this material?
A little bit, not terribly much, but a little bit. I think she said she was gonna email the file too, which was good.
Okay.
And Rick, I did email it to you as well.
Yeah, I got it.
Haven't seen
I
it
just
yet.
want to make sure, is there another form this information could come to you, Charles, that would make it?
No, I think it's good. I haven't seen the email yet come through,
There might be a problem
with mine.
Okay.
because I thought it might have came back to sender one time.
Check my junk folder just to narrow that out.
I forget what it is.
BUGGSCL at iCloud.
Yeah, I don't think Charles is on the email for the data.
But I sent it to him separately.
Oh, okay, I see.
But you are correct, Jillian, he was not originally on the email. Yes.
BUGGSCL at iCloud.com. Yeah, it should be.
Okay. So I'll see what happens.
So in October, or even in this month, November of 2025, that looks like partial data there. But October of 2025,
That's double.
23,000
What's
on
the-
and I mean, that's not really that, but that's what first student would have counted, right?
Yes, but that's doubled. Because you must have added
I did.
C through I and J because that's the summaries on.
Yeah,
I did. I did it intentionally. You're correct. It's adding column I and J because isn't that what first student used to do?
but it's double I and J. It's the column K would
Oh,
probably
I see what
be
you're saying. It's
13,000.
Yeah, I and J would be what they would have did.
Oh, it's more than it should be 4 and 4. It should. Oh, I don't understand. What are you saying?
The
Can you say it in a
numbers,
different way?
the numbers in column K appear to be twice. You're adding columns E through J rather than just I and J.
Oh,
Oh, I see. Okay. So if I go this equals this plus this,
Yeah,
like that,
there you go.
that's not right either.
Yeah, your problem, Teresa, is that you're trying to do computations on your pivot table,
Right.
which makes
I think
weird
you're right.
consequences sometimes.
I think you're right, but I should be able. No, you're right. You're right. Okay. So
I don't think I've seen it yet.
so boarding. So but okay.
That's two bugs. See, that would be weird.
Now, so April, May, June, July, we had some really high
Just and check.
ridership numbers here. Also here. Anyway, this is the latest data that we got from Metro. Let's just put it that way. Any thoughts? No?
Well, I guess in, absolute kind of comparisons here that we were looking at, if I remember correctly, around 2,500 rides a month under first student. Does that sound about
That
right?
sounds about right.
And this looks almost 10 times the number of riders in a month, if that's which, in the grand scheme of, we're able to provide, 10 times more rides and it's costing the same amount of money for the city. So kind of while providing service on the weekends, in the evenings, with 3 different bus options to take you anywhere in Madison, plus more paratransit
I was
access.
gonna say, this doesn't count paratransit.
Yeah.
It doesn't count there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, it feels like the first 9 months of data seem like an absolute slam dunk win for the city of Monona. And no, I'll stand on that. This is a slam dunk win for the city of Monona. Like, this is way better transit at the same price, and people are absolutely using it. And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yes, I'll stand on my cheerleading there.
Very well put, Addie. Yeah. You know what, Mark? And everyone in the room, something we talked about was maybe, we've got a council meeting coming up on Monday. Would this body be interested in having someone from Metro present these statistics to City Council on Monday? Is that something this body would like to do?
Seems a bit of a quick turnaround. I think if we gave them a couple more, if we asked them to come to the meeting after next, maybe might give them enough time.
So if we asked a representative from Metro to come not to Monday's meeting, but a following meeting? I thought that's what you said. They
Correct.
are available to come to the Monday meeting, but if this body would prefer to postpone it, we can do that too.
They're available, it's up to them, I think.
It is nice to have them present the data, but I wanted, but if there's some reason you feel that we should wait, I'm happy to do that also. I know the mayor was curious to get some numbers.
Does Metro have any kind of tracking of their paratransit data similar to this, or not really?
Let me ask. I'll put that on our.
We've got stuff on them before.
Okay.
We have got stuff on them before.
Yeah, our last meeting, we were able to look at
Yeah.
paratransit,
Okay.
some paratransit numbers. I'll see if I have my notes from that.
It's been a couple of meetings before. I was just looking at the ridership from per student for 2024 for the express, not the lift, paratransit portion. For the entire year of 2024, we had 6,141 rides. So
Please say that, Mark, again. For the entire.
For the express portion, for the entire 2024, it's 6,141. Our max in the last 7-8 years was 6,000, almost 7,000 doubles. The max we had at one time was 12,000 for the entire year. So.
And are they counting rides as in, I picked you up and I drop you off, that's a ride, or are they counting?
What's
Like Metro's counting pickups and drop offs?
Yeah, same as the first student. So if you got on, then they'd count that as one, and got back on.
Okay.
So they both are doing the same type of counting. apples to apples.
Mark, could I just ask you one more time? Just talking about first student, the number you quoted, what does that represent? What year and what does it represent?
2024 was the entire ridership for the Monona Express.
We do more of that now in a month.
Was
Wow.
6,141.
Wow.
Yay. And the entire year of 2024,
Yeah,
Monona Express, which is not the Monona Lift, but it's the Monona Express, which, 6,141. Now, wow. And that number 6,000, that is when they count it, it's a boarding and an alighting.
well, it's the same as the way Metro's doing it. It's the system you have. So it's a check mark when they get on. Then when they come back, it's another mark. So
Well, it's not always the way Metro separates them out, boardings and alighting, right?
yeah, so
So
one would be the boarding, the other would be the lighting too. So they didn't separate, they just put it as one total.
put it all together. So
Yeah,
so that's
they
even
do a grand
more.
total number.
Right. So we've talked about how this is even right. So this one number 6141 is similar to like when you combine, this, it would be this column, right? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
the total of every that's wild.
If you look at just the 38, somebody may say, well, what about just the 38?
Right,
Still way ahead too.
right. Because we could do that on the 38. Oops. So yeah, so we're, 20,000, let's just call it 20,000, right? Yeah. Wow, just the 20, yeah. Okay. What are some, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, looking ahead, we've got a couple of meetings we've got 1, 2, 3 more months, 4 more months until we have a year's worth of data.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we should probably, start planning now to publish a city news report, an article in the local newspaper, do a first year of Monona Metro announcement, and share these kind of numbers with the community, especially if by that point in time we also have a pretty good number of what it's cost us. Right, because we know what our budget is, right? But if we could, for the first year, be able to really stand on kind of 3 really important numbers, which I think is how many people rode the bus, what was the total cost to our system or to the city, and importantly, how much did we raise in bus fares, right? And those 3 numbers seem to be like really important once we get to a year to be able to share that learning with our community and celebrate.
I don't know if I heard you say this, but did you say cost per rider is one of the numbers we should have? Sounds to me like
You can do the math if
Yeah.
you want to do cost per rider. Because that'll be a nice apples to apples comparison metric between 2024. So I'm already seeing like the table coming together, right? 2024 versus 2025, and comparing Express, the former Monona Express service to the current Madison Metro system. I'd be happy to work on this. This looks like fun.
Addie, I don't think we can get the answer to how many people rode the bus, but we can.
Sorry. How many rides?
Rides.
Yeah. How many rides? Yep.
And that's the same per student.
Yeah, that's every bus system.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how much was raised in bus fares? Mark, can you explain how that works?
The collection is, what they collect is reduced uh, against our bill. So they collect it and then they reduce their bill. So they have a tracking system.
Can you speak into the microphone?
They have a tracking system that shows how much they collect. They reduce that against our bill on a quarterly basis.
And so far, what has that looked like?
It's more, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's more than what previous was, so.
So it seems that ridership is just steadily increasing. Is that what I heard you say? Or
It's in line with what these numbers are.
it's in line with what these numbers are? Yeah. Okay. I like those 3 questions, Addie. And I like that you are as much of a data geek as I am, and that you would be that you would find this fun to dig into these numbers, because I do too, and I'm happy to let you do that. That would be fantastic. But am I also hearing you say that the purpose of that would be for a news article, or, which I agree, totally agree, but it's not my decision, it's the decision of the body here. Or are you suggesting that we wait to present to city council until you have that information?
No, I think we can present to city council, especially if the mayor is asking for an update.
Okay. Okay. I don't know that we could probably have the answers to this question. How many rides we can get by Monday. We'll have to get paratransit data from Metro, the cost to the city. And we can probably ask Metro for that information, don't you think, Mark? We can.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we
can get
should.
that. You're
Don't we
talking about
have
for the
that information? How much the
Okay.
fares are that come to the city? Isn't that something we know?
Yeah, are you talking about for the presentation by Metro or just for the newsletter types of information?
Both. I mean, the newsletter would be for sure, but while Metro is presenting on Monday night, I could just email them in advance and say, by the way, if you could work this into your presentation, that would be great.
Sure. They can figure all that stuff out
We can
quickly.
figure all that out. Yeah, for sure. It's what they do. Okay. All right.
I
And then,
still think that maybe you want to cost per ride. I was
okay.
asking cost per person, but I think we might be able to compare the two vendors that way.
What is the average cost per ride? And then,
Cost cost per ride.
and then is that different than what it costs to ride the bus?
Oh yeah.
So can you explain to me the difference as you see it?
I'm sure it costs a lot more to run Metro because we're paying for more than we're getting in fares.
I'm not following.
No, I
When you
think,
say, oh,
no, I thought it was the opposite, is that the cost of the two systems are relatively comparable, and we're serving possibly 10 times more people under Metro higher. So I would actually think the cost per ride is significantly lower under Metro than it was under
Oh,
the.
Teresa, I thought you were asking about total cost.
I wrote, I think it was Addie, said something about the cost per ride. I didn't bring it up.
No, I did. I brought
Yes,
up cost per person, and we said that we can't figure out a person, we can figure out rides. So I
but,
still think we should do cost per ride.
and what,
I'll work with Metro. I know what you're talking about. They don't have all our information either, our financial stuff. I can
So
call, I know what he's talking about. I can call Mick tomorrow.
can someone, what's the equation? The total cost that the city is paying divided by the number of rides? Is that what
Divided by the total number of boardings. So
total
if you
number
go
of,
to your all data column, I think that's where we had
Yeah.
all.
I think we just want to be able to
We
compare.
would just take the total
this?
cost to the city,
So,
divide
yeah,
it by the row 67, column J.
right.
Because we're not going to divide it by column K total because people are only paying for
When they get on.
getting on. So we would, yeah, take the total cost to the city divided by column J.
67,000 boardings, right?
Yeah.
For the past, maybe we do 12 months or whatever. Yeah, instead of, we include 12 months in like October to October
Oh,
or
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So this divided, so the total amount that the city is paying divided by that, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about what it costs to ride the bus. Rick, you're shaking your head. Did I understand that correctly?
It's not how much yeah, I guess that's right. It's a
What
total
what it
cost.
costs the city for
Right.
an individual to ride the bus in Monona.
Right.
Right,
That's the way to put it. Yeah.
right. Okay. There was one graph here that I don't think I quite understand. I need to circle back, but this is called stop activity. So I was expecting to see the names of the stops and the activity that was happening at each stop. And I don't think that that's what we're getting here.
Hmm.
So I will circle back with Metro on this. Unless you're seeing something that I'm missing, let me know. Stop activity. All right. I'm gonna move on then. If there are no other comments, I'll say one more thing. This dip in ridership that happened somewhere around August on all of the tab divisions of the spreadsheet. Connor, the contact at Metro, feels that there was something wrong with the data here that's just completely out of line with their expectations are for August. Usually August ridership is just nice and high like the rest. He did email me back and he said that they did find that there was indeed some sort of a mistake in the data, but he may not have it ready before Monday's council meeting. But, all right, great. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. Very good. Addie, I could not be more pleased with your enthusiasm for data. So it'll be fun. All right, let's bounce down to number 6, new business, and we'll go as fast as we can here. Metro promotion. I just wanted Mark to put that on the agenda in case there was an opportunity that I wasn't thinking about. If there's something coming up that you can think of that this body would want us to take advantage of and promote ridership on Metro, let me know. Is it worth it to run something in the newsletter? Is there something going on? Holiday shopping? I don't know. Go downtown, take the bus down to State Street. Look, any ideas?
There are some holiday outages or service changes that we might want to announce, because I think Christmas Day is limited service, maybe New Year's Day. Yeah, so there's a couple holidays with limited services coming up that we may want to announce.
Would those outages already be known to the riders?
As a writer, I don't know. So I'm happy to volunteer to write up a paragraph and send it to you
That would be great.
because I'm just gonna go look anyway. So
Okay. I only asked Jillian because I find myself getting text messages from Metro to tell me about outages or route changes. And so that's why I thought the riders would know that already. But okay, that'd be wonderful, Jillian. Thank you so much. All right. Rider feedback 6E. This is in your packet and it starts on pages 3, it goes down to page 4 and 5. It's probably best to start with 5 and scroll up. So, as you know, citizens can send their feedback to the city staff through a form on the city website. And when they do so, their comments are sent to all of the alders, the mayor, right? Sometimes department heads. And this came in a little while ago. A woman who was talking about how difficult it can be to cross the street, and how she gets stuck in the middle of Monona Drive. She has to get off the bus on the opposite side of the street as she gets on the bus, right? So, and when she gets off the bus, she needs to cross all the way across Monona Drive near Femrite, and she's finding it to be very challenging. So we just wanted you to know, as the Transit Commission members, that was some feedback that we recently got. Other than that, we're not getting feedback through these forums. Other than that, our Public Works Director responded to her. There was a little misunderstanding, but I think at the end of the day, they got to the bottom of it. I responded to her. My response did not make it into the packet. That's not intentional. It's just an oversight. And I essentially just said that, thank you for reaching out, and we're sorry that you're experiencing this. And I gave her my phone number if she'd like to speak with me. And I offered that she could come to one of our meetings to share any other feedback that she had about the system. And I haven't heard back.
So I think I can parrot a little bit of her feedback because that is right in my neighborhood. And when I'm catching the G, I'm catching getting on and off at those same stops, riding the G. And yeah, it's always a challenge everywhere on Monona Drive for a pedestrian to cross other than at signal intersections. So I'm there when I'm riding the bus. I'm also walking with my dogs frequently, and yeah, and I would just echo that because it is, 5 lanes, and we just don't have a driver culture in Monona along Monona Drive for people to be proactively and intentionally stopping for crosswalks. And of course, because it's a 4-lane we have 2 lanes going in both directions. The risk, of course, is that when you're ready to try and cross, that one lane of traffic will have someone stopped, but then the other lane of traffic, people will not stop and will in fact aggressively pass the stopped car, honking and beeping as they're doing the right thing and stopping for a pedestrian. Other people don't see it and drive aggressively and dangerously. So I can't parrot, that does fly with my experience. I think for me, the worst, that certainly crossing at Femrite, and then the other one is kind of up near, in between Acacia Lane and Tompkins Drive, between the light at Owen and the light all the way down at Femrite.
Femrite is pretty bad, particularly because Femrite drivers are coming up a crest of a hill and a lot of times trying to go left and having to inch out. And then the people going north up Monona Drive are also coming up a hill. And yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the complaint that she brought up, I mean, maybe it's I don't know what the process is for creating some sort of lights, but that intersect. I mean, we discussed this when we were talking about the bus going up that hill and how whether it would be even safe for the bus to stop at the top of the hill and to be turning. So, yeah, it's hard to know what to do right now, but it does seem like something that needs to be on our radar potentially to communicate to Public Works.
Yep. And now, Rick or Alder Bernstein, you have some experience with those solar powered those beacon.
Yeah, rapid flashing beacons. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that even an appropriate thing to talk about in this situation? I don't know.
It could be. It could be. It's worth asking. I noticed that Dan said that there's not a crosswalk there. It's not designated as an official crosswalk. So I don't know if it would be eligible for a rapid flashing beacon like the others. But if it is, it's like $20,000, and the last couple we added were from TIF dollars. So it's usually easy to get past city council. But yeah, a conversation with Dan about that would be probably a good step to take.
We're talking about Monona Drive at Femrite Drive, is that right? Right by
Yeah.
the Anytime
Yeah.
Fitness Center.
There's no crosswalk.
There is a crosswalk on the north side, not on the
Yeah.
south side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a crosswalk to cross Femrite, and then there's a crosswalk to cross the north side of the intersection to cross Monona Drive, and that does have the median, and there is it's a smaller median because there is the turn lane there. I did read the email messages. One thing I did think of is there's a program that's in Madison that I think is run by Safe Communities Dane County or something like that, where they have, and I think she mentioned it in the email, so she might have seen it, but where they have flags that a pedestrian can pick up a flag from a box.
you
And
read my mind. I
go
can't
across
believe
the
you're
street.
saying that. Okay, yeah.
And then I looked on their website, I was looking on their website, and they even have now a program to do art. You're talking about art on the
Yeah.
benches. Now they're doing art on the flag holders.
And to me, that if it is effective, it's so brilliant. It's simple, it's low maintenance, there's no electricity required, and the art. So Mark, so I mean, Charles, is this something that you would be willing to look into?
Yeah, I know they have an application thing on their site and they have an email address. I can definitely send them an email and ask for more details as far as the cost and kind of how it works and what success, if they have metrics for success that they've set.
This would really have to go through Public Works, would have to approve something like that, so.
Right. It's
With
not,
Dan, though.
yeah, we would not be making any promises. This is just
Yeah.
a research. Like,
Yeah.
is that okay, Mark? Or what do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm not
Would you
saying,
would
I
you
don't
use the flags though, or would you use the beacon lights? I know it's a little bit more expensive.
flag. So what Charles is talking about are just like
Yeah,
dowels that you hold on to with a flag and you just walk across the street with like a really brightly colored flag in your hand.
I just don't know if like Dan would be like, or because you're going down a hill and up a hill, are people gonna see that flag right away, other than the flashing light?
Oh, if the flashing light would be higher, they might, yeah.
You might be able to see a flashing light better than just the flag. I mean, that'd be something Dan's gonna want to ask about.
I mean, certainly someone from this committee, I sit on Public Works. I mean,
Okay.
someone from this committee could come to the January Public Works Committee meeting and represent this concern. And Public Works would then figure out the solution. We don't dictate the solution. But at the same time, it would not hurt to do some research into this super low cost option
We
in
get the research.
case Public Works doesn't know about it, but I'm sure they
Yeah.
do.
If we get the research and I can give it to Dan, our Public
Right.
Works Director.
And say we dug up some information if you want to look into it. Yeah. But there is that coalition that's, what is it, Safe Communities? I see sometimes the yard signs, they're kind of blue and they have a little turtle on them and they say
Yeah.
slow down.
This is
Yeah.
called the Safe Communities Pedestrian Flags Over Dane County program. Adopt a Crosswalk is what
Uh-huh.
they're calling their thing.
That's kind of cool. I would be interested in learning more about that. Maybe Addie listed off another location. It's not just this one at Femrite. It might be
I can think
helpful.
of at least three. I can think of the two that Addie mentioned, and then we cross at St. Teresa Terrace, there's a crosswalk and not a light. Now,
Right.
we don't have problems getting people to stop, but we have white canes and, you know, so, and there's not a hill right there. It's
Mhm.
very low, so.
Yeah, easy to see.
One more time, Charles, can you give me the name of that website one more time?
Yeah, it's safecommunity.net is their website. And I just Googled Madison pedestrian flags or something, and there's an article from like 2011. I think they've been doing this for a number of years. So there's an article on a website, and then there's their webpage where they have the application link. Yeah, it's safecommunity.net/pedestrian-safety.
Yep. Artful Crossing Initiative. That's cool. Adopt a flag site. That's very cool. So I don't know what would be needed other than maybe to just show this website. Right? I mean, unless there's a phone call to be made if the website doesn't answer
Yeah, I
certain
don't know if they-
questions
I
about
haven't looked.
cost.
I don't know if they go into details on the cost, but they've got a phone number and email there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Charles, I'm not opposed to if members of the committee want to get involved, I don't want to stop anybody. You don't have to. But if that's a phone call you want to make and
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't
have
mind at all. I can
questions,
do that.
just
Sure.
to ask what's involved. But I think
Yeah.
also that's something that our staff can certainly do too, but it doesn't hurt for our community or our committee to be knowledgeable about this opportunity as well.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, cool. It's funny you would say that because I was just thinking to myself, like, is that a good idea or not? And then you said it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, great. All right. So that was just the ridership feedback that I wanted to share with everyone. And then I guess I'm also wondering if any of you have any rider feedback that you'd like to share, things that you've heard from people,
Yeah.
things that you've personally experienced that you want to bring up.
Yeah, I have, I guess, two things to share with the committee. So one is that I did have an unfortunate incident with my bicycle back in July. I had loaded up my bike. It was a really, really hot day and it was a bit too hot to bike. So I loaded my bike up onto the front of the bus. And unfortunately, on a curve, my bike came off the bus and was injured. What happened to bikes? It wasn't destroyed or totaled, I don't know, but got banged up as it fell off the bus and isn't rideable. So I had to buy a new bike. And I'm going through the insurance claims process with Metro for but the important thing that I wanted to bring up and share with the committee, the concern and the lesson for me was that when my bike fell off the bus, rightly so, the driver would not let me put my bike back on the bus.
Okay.
Because, you know, rightly so, it's now a hazard to the bus, to the equipment, to the roadway. And so, you know, it was a very, very hot day and I had to get off the bus in the middle of a neighborhood on the east side and just call around to friends, hoping to find somebody with a vehicle big enough that could come and pick me up with my bike and drive me home. So I sent a message to, I don't remember his name, my apologies, but it did get up to Mick at Metro, letting them know that policy does create this really unfortunate situation where through no fault of my own, my bike was rendered inoperable and I was now stranded by Metro.
Right.
I did learn about the Safe Rides program, so I could have called Safe Rides program and they would have come pick me up, loaded up my bike and helped me get home. Fortunately, I did have a friend who was in the neighborhood and could come pick me up. So that was a really unfortunate circumstance. I've asked around a lot. I don't think this happens all that often. And so, you know, I don't think it was a failure of the driver, of the equipment, of loading up. I think just, oops, something happened. And so most importantly was that recognizing the consequence of this really concerning policy that Metro had put out. You know, the bus was not full, so I could have potentially just put my bike itself on the bus. But unfortunately, like the tire, the handlebars were all wrapped around,
Oh
so
my goodness.
audience in the aisle. So that was not the greatest of situations, but Metro has been really great about
Okay.
helping me and definitely received the feedback, but I haven't heard if they've changed or altered that policy because of that. I don't know. So one piece of feedback to share from my experience. And then the other piece of feedback I did want to share was that I went to ride in last Monday night, the first of December, and it was that night that it started snowing at like 3 o'clock and the roads were just crud.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah.
So the 38 ended up being 55 minutes late to pick me up. And importantly, as I was watching, because you know, we can watch little bus trackers and we can see the route that the bus took. And the bus seemed to try and go up Femrite and then went down Femrite and then went back to whatever the road that Menards is on.
You mean
And
it
then
reversed? It went up and it reversed back down?
I don't know if it reversed or turned around or what.
Oh,
I'm just
you
seeing
were
the little
watching it on
movement of
the
the
app.
dot.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started to come up Femrite and then it went back Femrite and then went through down Broadway and turned right north up Monona Drive. But of course, unfortunately, there was an accident at Broadway at Monona, which is, I think, why the bus was 55 minutes late. But that did seem to me to be pretty conclusive evidence that on a really bad weather night, the bus was not able to make it up Femrite.
Yep.
So it seems to me to be one of those things we may want to be keeping an eye on with Metro. You know, how often on these bad nights are they sliding too much to make it up that hill on Femrite?
But why would it be at Fenright Hill? Because the bus doesn't go there.
Doesn't it come up Femrite and turn right? Or does it go?
It goes upright, then turns down towards Broadway, and then goes up Monona Drive.
Yeah. Which,
So it may have also been the traffic then that it was trying to.
so I wonder if they tried because of the accident.
But I mean, even like
Yeah, it was the roads were a disaster, so I don't want
Yeah.
to misjudge.
the
but
only
just, yeah,
time I took the 38 last week, it was also 20 minutes late in the morning. So I think they are having some weather problems.
And I'm really glad you're bringing this up, Addie, because you're reminding me that maybe it was the same day. I don't know. But I did hear from our public works director that one of the public works employees noticed that on Nichols Road, heading away from the city central toward Monona Drive, there's that little incline by the church on Nichols Road. And it's a 3-way stop because in the winter, people have trouble getting up that hill. But now there's a bus stop before the hill. And so there was a bus that was having trouble getting up the hill because when you have to start from a standstill, you can't get that momentum to get yourself up the hill. So there was just some, you think out loud, this is certainly nothing that, is a guarantee of happening, but we were just sort of wondering out loud, like maybe the bus stop should be on the top of the hill instead of at the base of it. I don't know. In the meantime, our public works director simply said that they will need to remember that they need to put down more salt at that particular intersection with the, what would be the eastbound lane of Nichols.
Nichols and where though?
Nichols and McKenna, right near
Oh.
my house. You know,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
you're coming toward when you're coming away from, City Hall and you're kind of going up that hill by the church.
Sure.
It's a three-way
Yeah.
intersection. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And the reason I've always assumed the reason it's a three-way intersection is because otherwise you can't get up the hill if you come to a stop and the road is icy, right?
Yeah, I was there for speed.
Yeah, I've wondered about that.
I know it's a weird intersection. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you stop if you're coming west, but you don't stop if you're driving east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought the hill was the reason, but I don't know that.
Me too, but I don't know for sure. So it sounds like maybe Public Works, we do have some things to talk with Public Works, maybe a couple intersections, salting in the winter for the bus. I think they already know this. And maybe in January we can, I don't know, I can bring up something to the Public Works Director or maybe there can be anyone on this commission that might want to present at a future meeting.
It does bring up, one of the things I wanted to bring up for your question later in the agenda, is there something more this body should be looking into? And I did want to ask about, now that we have more of our roads being used for bus routes, if whomever's doing the plowing, are they putting a priority on clearing those bus routes? I know in Madison that they have, three, if I remember correctly, like 3 levels of hierarchy of roads that they clean. And I just wanted to know if in Monona, now that we have, and I think the section that I'm thinking most about is Owen Road between Island, is that Island? And there's a chunk of Owen that's now a bus route that I don't think was a bus route before.
Oh, from Pheasant Hill to Monona Drive.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of thinking about that little part of Owen.
The question is Public Works plowing the metro route in any sort of priority way? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then with salt.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We lose quorum if I go do bedtime.
No,
We still have quorum.
we're at the end. Yeah, you're happy. You're free to pop off.
Okay. Sorry,
No.
I love reading to Billy. Good night, everybody.
I'll talk to you later.
Jillian, thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. Great feedback, Addie. I'm just gonna I made a notation just to bring that up with Public Works, and we'll see where it goes. Or this body could maybe do a little bit more research and make some recommendations in a more formal way. I'm gonna go down to number 7. And this was just sort of a brainstorm, nothing that we have to talk about in details. But my question to this body is, now that we have Metro and we're sort of just spending a lot of time and analyzing data, ridership data, is there something else this committee should be looking into, like related to our bike pedestrian plan or any other sort of like transportation infrastructure that does not require a car? On the City of Monona website, the charge of this committee is listed that this body develops and recommends to council policies on the various elements of public transportation and transportation facilities. The purpose of our commission is to provide for the safe and efficient transport of persons and good within the community. So it's not limited to bus. So if you have an idea, you want to bring that forward, don't hesitate.
Yeah, I had 3 things. One, we talked a little bit about the prioritizing bus route plowing in the wintertime. Second of all is, I know that we've brainstormed
trying to do some engagement with Monona Grove around school drop-off and pickups. And if there's ways for us to make school drop and pickups less frustrating and less of a waste of time for parents, because I think, well, I guess let's ask the question, you know, are parents satisfied with the current school drop-off and pickup? Is there anything that we can do? You know, I'm hearing about the wonderful success of bike buses, which are planned bicycle routes through the community to help kids get to school. Days, you know, specific days of the calendar year where the students are encouraged to walk, bike to school instead of driving. And of course, are we continuing to see any, or do we see any safety issues occurring during school drop-offs and pickup times? Do we see, say, you know, fender benders or rear enders or any kind of measures that say that this, you know, do people say it's a problem? Do we have data that says that it's a problem? And then I love to hear that we're investing TIF in tax incremental districts to build sidewalks. And I think, you know, doing some community scoping to figure out where might be other parts of our community that would demand sidewalks and how we can provide those. Winnequa seems to be a great success. And as we're expanding on Owen and expanding on Femrite, it seems to be more people choosing to get around our communities other than in private cars, and what we can do to support that with safe sidewalks.
Yeah, I mean, Owen and Femrite are a great start, and if, you know, money is going to make that possible, but Winnequa, you know, can we look at sidewalks on Winnequa? That's a huge corridor too. Yeah.
Just FYI that, I don't know, the Public Works will say that we don't have that authority to make recommendations to them.
Right.
Just so you're aware of that, so.
Yeah.
Might put a button on the heads here, so.
It's only a recommendation or a request. We certainly don't have the authority to make it happen. Yeah. Yeah.
But we do have the ability to engage the community around the issue, right?
Yes, I just want to make sure, yeah.
And Addie, to your comment about a bus or a bike bus.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy? His name is Coach Balto. He's like on YouTube all over the place with his bike buses. It's like even like Justin Timberlake visited the bike bus, and it's like this 1 or 2 days a week where like hundreds of kids just get together and they bike in this gigantic herd of young kids with their coach leading the way, and he's playing music and they're singing songs, and it's just like the best thing ever.
Yeah, so importantly, bus does not imply a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's a accumulation of it's a timed set of stops, quote unquote, where kids can add to a community ride going to their schools. And there's always adults present, often even, you know, supporting transition, safely moving through intersections, and, you know, guiding the students in learning how to be safe on-street riders. So it does have a strong experiential education component as well.
I think it's Portland, and I think that the success of it really comes down to like this one gym teacher that just sort of made it happen. It began at the school district. I don't know, I mean, as citizens, we could certainly get involved in the school district and help make something like that happen. I'm not sure in our role as Monona Transit Commission members, if that's really, I don't know. I would have to ask. I honestly don't know. It feels like would we be stepping on the school district's toes? I don't know. Mark, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, kind of what you were saying, I'm not for sure.
Yeah,
Well, it
Yeah.
feels like an opportunity to at least
Yeah.
talk and listen,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
as it doesn't have to be so frustrating.
Ugh. All right. Anything else, Addie or Charles or Rick?
Nope.
I Mark, I didn't mean for this to be on the agenda, but since it is on the agenda,
oh, I thought it was, okay,
Oh,
you
that's
talking about the
okay.
bike cleaning
I was
station?
just kind of like, hey, get a load of this.
Oh,
There was this thing that came on my radar. It's this German company that has this bicycle cleaning station. It's amazing. Like it's like this box. You open the door, you put your bike inside, and it's see-through, just like it's like your bike is in a car wash and the brushes are whirling and it's cleaning your bike, and then they charge $20 or whatever a pop, and then your bike comes out all shiny and clean, and the chain is degreased and everything. And anyway, I was just sort of daydreaming, and I thought, man, we could slap some sponsorship on the side of that and pay for it, and help encourage bicycling. But yeah, that's all right. No worries. Okay. We're at the end of the meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second, sure.
Charles, second. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Let's do it. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. As
Bye,
always, a
everybody.
pleasure meeting you, Charles.
Thank
Nice
you.
Bye.
meeting you again, Addie. You too,
Are
Rick.
these always on the second?